Welcome back, YouTubers, to another TNA Impact Wrestling review with us, the British Fist. So happy to be doing this video, NJ. I am Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me is none other than, well, you know who he is, guys. It's none other than the What's Up-in, Mother Truckin' NJ.
What's up?
He's got some dance moves for us today. Subscribe or above, like this video, and comment any thoughts you have on this TNA Impact Wrestling show down in the comment section below.
And make sure you contact us and wish Dan a happy birthday in the comment section below.
It was my birthday on Wednesday.
I know, that's the joke.
I'm
yes.
23 and I've shaved, and now I don't look 20. Now I don't look 23 anymore. I look like an 18-year-old baby face. Hey, better than being a heel, but there we go. So yeah, we've got TNA Impact Wrestling this week, and oh yeah, by the way, make sure you go check out TN Asylum. The link will be in the description box below. Go check their website out. They feature our videos, very good columns on there as well. We recommend you guys go check out that website. It'll be in the description box below. Like I said, right, we still want Impact to stay live, don't we?
Sadly, the time's slowly approaching us where they're going to go back to spoilers alert and back to pre-recorded. And it's not going to be good. Yes, even going live hasn't really affected stuff too much, but for the fans who read spoilers, this is a whole big surprise. You don't know what's coming, especially for this time when the Ace of 8 here. You don't know what they're going to do, when they're going to attack. And this is the best time to keep this live thing going. Definitely.
So I must admit, I prefer the show being live. Keep Impact Live hashtag. Go put it on Twitter. Give it to Dixie Carter, to TNA. Give it to Impact Wrestling, Spike TV, who else you can, because we definitely want to keep this show live. One thing that wasn't as good this week as other weeks was the crowd. I didn't think the crowd was anywhere near as good as they really should have been this week, to be honest. Probably the worst Impact Zone crowd for some time.
Yeah, and even if Hogan did a signature move, you still couldn't hear the crowd this night.
Well, one thing that was good about the show was the way we opened. We opened in a nice, different way, rather than going with a promo segment like we usually get on some shows like this. We opened up with Aries and Rude and Ion and King brawling backstage. It's nice to start things off a little bit differently. That led right into that tag team match, which we thought would be the main event.
Well, the way they did this was pretty interesting. You go straight onto TNA. The first thing you see is the big backstage attack flowing down to the ring. And I thought it was really interesting because it shows how much they really want to go at each other. Aries and Rude and Ions and King. It really teases more the feud there.
Yeah, it just starts to show off in a nice fast pace. You're like, bloody, I've got to pay attention to this. And then we go straight on to the tag match. Aries and King, buddies in real life, of course, versus Rude and Ion. This was a very nice match. We've got about 15 minutes, including commercial time. But because TNA show the matches during commercials, it doesn't bother me that much. But Kenny King got the pin on Zima Ion. Nice to see they're at least allowing Kenny King to get a victory on the X Division champion, hyping their feud up as well as Rude and Aries.
Very true. The thing I want to say about this match is every part of the match had something going and keep your attention going. A very nice match. A bit of feud there, bit of feud there. Very nicely done. The finish, I'm glad we actually got to see it because with Rude interfering last time, we actually got the finish here, and King's got the win on Ions, which probably means title match at pay-per-view.
Yeah, we thought they would get a title match when this tag team match was a very good way to open the show. Nice, fast-paced tag action. I think we need to also appreciate we do have 3 X Division wrestlers in there, and we got a lot of that X Division stuff in this match. So there we go. Nice way to start off the show. In our second segment of the evening, we had Sting calling out James Storm, playing some compelling footage, and basically we have James Storm saying that he doesn't need anyone fighting his battles. Why does he need the Aces and Eights when he doesn't mind fighting his own battles? After Kurt Angle blindsided him, he dealt with it all by himself. He don't need no Aces and Eights, motherfucker.
No, but as we hear throughout the night, he's part of the Ace, and he's the one who runs it. That's why he doesn't need them.
That was the main angle of the show, wasn't it? You had all these guys throughout the night, you know, saying whether or not they thought Jay was part of the Aces and Eights, then going to saying they were going to be ringside for the main event. And this almost felt like an opening segment, didn't it? In the sense that, you know, it hyped up the main event of the evening. It hyped up the main angle of the show. You know, James Storm being part of the Aces and Eights. All these guys are coming down to the ring to see for themselves. You had Angle coming out as well, talking about James Storm's motives with the Aces and Eights. And Sting says he'll be ringside for the main event. Not a special guest enforcer, I guess you could call him, as the GM.
No, with this match being mentioned last week, we were going to get... I was thinking this match is just thrown there for a good main event. The fact we had this segment, it helped to hype it up. And I think the way they did it, Angle got in Storm's face, got straight to the point. Sting was there, playing the GM role, which I miss. and it really gave me a good feeling for the main event.
Indeed. We got the announcement of 3 4-way matches at Hardcore Justice in the BFG series. We'll go through them now. The first one should be a very good one. Daniels versus AJ versus Joe versus Angle, which I believe is in a ladder match. That should be a hell of a match.
The fact you've got Joe and Angle, I'm not taking away from the other ones, but Joe being at the top, Angle being this guy who's obviously trying to get involved, and obviously AJ, I think that all these can really put on a great performance, and then Daniels is there, maybe to continue his thing with AJ.
You would think that would be the case as well. You also have RVD versus Pope versus Anderson versus Magnus in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Bully Ray versus James Storm versus Jeff Hardy versus Robbie E in a tables match. So 3, I guess you could say, interesting matches there. What do you think of 3 4-ways on a pay-per-view, though, for the Bound for Glory series?
Well, I think as the concentration is going to be on the other match that we have, I think having these big matches, as they're 4-way, there's a chance they can get some time to them. So I'm quite satisfied with this, and I think these, apart from the Robert E being involved in the match, I think these could be really good matches.
Especially with the hardcore stipulation in there. Should be pretty interesting. A hardcore pay-per-view, by the way. Bully Ray versus Robert E in the Bound for Glory series. Cut to the chase, Bully Ray squashed his ass, and that was entertaining.
And that was very good. But the thing about before, I was kind of worried this weren't going to happen, but Bully Ray was on the mic, got straight to the point, spoke to Storm, got to the match, and bam, 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 rolled him down, got the 1, 2, 3, escaped the ring, and there we had it.
And Bully Ray also announced that he would be at ringside to see if James Storm was actually part of the AcesAnd8'sless. And it's quite interesting. We haven't seen this whole Bully Ray Abyss Joseph Park thing in a while, and I wonder when they're going to be revisiting it and when they're going to be doing it. Are they going to continue it in Bound for Glory? Who really knows at this point? But they've kind of like skipped a little bit now, haven't they? They've gone through a couple of weeks without even really having them involved.
No, I'll skip to the point just so we can mention it here while we talk about this. We have Joseph Parks backstage in this little segment, speak to Sting eventually, and that was some involvement to talk about Bully Ray, but at this moment in time, it doesn't look like they want to continue that feud, but I'm sure it'll twist back round and happen.
It probably will do, especially with that whole split personality thing they teased in a previous show. But yeah, they have Joseph Park was saying like, oh, he's got representatives now in TNA and he's going to be their lawyer. And do you need representation, Sting? Here's my card. Yeah, I'll have that card. I need some legal representation. And our main event, yes, guys. Women were in the hour main event of TNA. They are known to draw ratings, so I'm not surprised TNA put them in the hour main event. As announced last week, it was Gail Kim versus Mickie James versus Madison Rayne versus Tara in a #1 contendership match to face Brooke Teschmacher at Hardcore Justice.
And she was on commentary, and the thing about this match, what I heard throughout the match was, Tara, Tara, Tara. They were really behind her, but did that happen?
No, it didn't instead, because they decided to visit a storyline that no one really cares about, and this whole Earl Hebner tonguing Madison Rayne stuff. It was bullshit, wasn't it? There's another one of those BS finishes. Remember when I was talking to you before this match even started, and I was like, oh, fuck, I hope they don't do this Madison Rayne, Earl Hebner bullshit in this match.
Yeah, you did say that, and this is just terrible, because with this, we do expect good matches, especially for Tess. We have Gail Kim, who's had it. We have Mickie James and Tara, who could have been 2 great opponents, but now it's gone round to this stupid swervy thing. I really want that to finish. And the thing, I said this during the show, we have Brooke, who is the leader of the knockouts, and she did not see, oh, there's something dodgy here, I'm going to call it quick. She did nothing. I'm thinking, great management.
You think TNA would do something? You think TNA would do something about Earl Hebner? I love the fact they had Madison Rayne at the beginning saying that he would never screw anyone. You probably weren't alive when the Montreal Screwjob happened, Madison Rayne, but there we go. Teschmacher, it was nice to see Brooke Teschmacher on commentary, because we haven't seen her for a week or so now. You need to see the Knockouts champion, at least every week. But it was a decent match. It's just, the finish was just, oh.
And now at the pay-per-view, we get Madison Rayne versus Tess.
Yeah, a match which I really, really don't want to see. Rude and Aries are also going to be going down to the ring for that main event later.
It's expected, because obviously when Aries heard that Rude's going to be there, it followed through, and very nicely done.
All the main guys are going to be down there for the main angle of the show. In the next segment, we have Chavo Guerrero's in-ring debut, indeed, doing the old Eddie dance versus Kid Cash. It seems like here that they're hyping some kind of tag team match between Chavo Hernandez and Kid Cash and Gunner at the pay-per-view, and you kind of had to have Chavo win here, didn't you, really? It was a decent enough match.
It was pretty good. I don't really care about Kid Cash, but the thing about this match is that Kid Cash did the heel-like tactics, But we get the win of Chavo Guerrero, 3 amigos, frog splash, 1, 2, 3, and bam, Chavo won, and he had Fanny at ringside. So I just thought this was a very nicely debut match.
And to be honest with you, TNA do need some tag teams, so put in like a sort of Mexican America version to Chavo and Hernandez together could be a way forward. My question for you guys out there is, what would their tag team name be? Put it in the comment section below. I'd like to hear your tag team name suggestions for Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. We had an interesting backstage segment, didn't we? Wes Briscoe, the son of Gerald Briscoe, and the angle backstage of him. And I thought he was rumoured to be one of the Aces and Eights, Wes Briscoe.
It was teased because he randomly appeared out of nowhere. A guy that really weren't advertised, or just a guy that probably some of us may not know. So it made us think, could there be something about this guy? But all he wants is to be a part of wrestling, have a match. And the commentary during the main event said him versus Angle could be a way to step in. But I don't know where it's going to go, but we'll see.
I think he's part of this Aces and Eights storyline. I can't help but feel that, well, why else would they just showcase him like that? It just seemed a bit out of the blue and random. He has to have something to do with this Aces and Eights storyline and Kurt Angle. So, yeah. So after this segment, we had the Kaz and Daniels baby shower for Claire Lynch. AJ Styles is out in Australia promoting TNA, and they decided to do this. You didn't like the segment, did you?
Not one single bit. Yes, AJ weren't there to make him look bad, but instead we get all this cluster in the ring. And yes, we have Daniels on mic, but I just really wanted to get Terminator's gun and start using it. Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought this segment was entertaining. I don't like this storyline at all, but at least I did find this segment very entertaining. I think it's mainly because of Christopher Daniels' mic work and just the way they gave her diapers and they gave her that little baby AJ suit and everything. It was funny. The only thing I didn't like about it was the crappy acting from Claire Lynch. I thought, other than the crappy acting, it was actually a very entertaining segment, considering AJ isn't actually there.
AJ, step up and be the father of my baby. It's coming soon. Oh, shut
up! Next week on Impact, we're going to have 3 Bound for Glory series matches. I said 2, I meant 3. Bloody Ray versus James Storm. Angle versus AJ, and Pope versus RVD. So we've got 2 good matches and 1 decent match next week to look forward to in the Bound for Glory series.
And that is definitely something to look forward to. I'm liking how TNA are starting to do this once again. Hype up next week, get you tuning in, especially when it's still live, as we mentioned at the beginning, because obviously we don't know what's going to happen in these matches. And the other thing we missed is, sooner or later, the knockout tag titles are going to be on the line.
Yeah! Even though they haven't defended them for like 2 months now, so shouldn't they be stripped of the titles? I don't know. I just want them to be off the freaking TV screen. But hell, if casual fans continue to like them, they're going to continue to get on TV.
It was almost hinted that they were going to be stripped, or Young was going to be stripped, but it didn't happen. So thanks to that TNA, we're going to see a stupid match here.
At least Brooke Hogan called out Eric Young on him being a male women's champion.
Didn't act on it, but there we go.
No, indeed. Let's get to the main event of the evening. James Storm versus Kurt Angle in a Bound for Glory series match. We've seen these guys fight before on pay-per-view matches, and these 2 guys generally do put on pretty decent matches together. And this was another example of another decent match between the 2, a decent main event match. You're looking for the Aces and Eights.
Oh, yes, because they're really expected to be here tonight. Because for you people who are not following them on Twitter, make sure you do, because they did hint that they were going to be here, especially against Brooke Hogan, and especially for this main event.
No, and to be honest with you, I think when we've seen so many beatdowns and so many Aces and Eights segments, it was nice to see that TNA kind of went away from it a little bit, and they kept the tension there. Like, we all thought they were going to appear, and they didn't appear, and they're working it into this whole James Storm angle. I think for 1 week it was nice to not see the Aces and Eights on TV so much, but they still built the main event angle around the Aces and Eights and all these guys trying to combat them. So I think it was a decent move by TNA just not to have them on TV this one time. They'll obviously have them on TV on future shows, of course.
I definitely think they need to be an appearance, because for this week I weren't fully into this. I think the Aces and Eights, yes, they were mentioned throughout the night, and it was a follow-on from that this week. And yes, it added tension not to have them there, but I was really hoping for an appearance or something just to add that, oh, look what they're doing, or what's happening next. But other than that, the tension was definitely here tonight.
Yeah, my only issue with this match was the fact that you had James Storm in what seemed like a sort of 2-minute ankle lock, And then as soon as he gets out of it, he hits the last call with the ankle that he just did the ankle lock on, whether it was a standing call or not. It kind of messed up the psychology in the finish for me, but it was still a pretty decent match between these two, as you expected. James Storm gets the victory.
James Storm getting the victory is, again, I would have liked to see, because I was predicting like this, the reason the AcesAnd8'sless worked there is because one of the members surrounding the ring was actually going to turn on TNA, but it didn't happen. Storm getting the win. I was kind of rooting for Angle in this, but the match overall was very nicely done, very good for the main event.
And then you had Bobby Roode on the mic afterwards accusing James Storm, saying that, obviously James Storm has won the match. He didn't need the AcesAnd8'sless this week, which is why they didn't turn up. So they're still basically teasing that James Storm could be part of the AcesAnd8'sless, and how long they'll keep doing this, I'm not really sure, but they did this pretty well tonight, in my opinion. They continued on the main angle of the show pretty well, with all these guys going down to the dead man's hand, with all the guys coming down to the ring and being all vigilant and everything. So I thought they did this pretty well. This show, this angle.
They wrapped up and had also teased for next week. Yeah. They had tease of what feuds we're having, especially between Storm and Roode, which is the thing that TNA is still working on. So overall, they wrapped this up pretty nicely, and yeah, I think they did it pretty well.
What was your overall thoughts on the show this week, then?
Throughout the night, I felt it did have what it needed for the pay-per-view. It had the follow-on from AcesAnd8'sless, which was the big part, but I think I wasn't as much entertained by this as I was in the past weeks, even though this show did give us many good moments, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of matches now for not for Bound for Glory. That's in months' time. That's good. I'm looking forward to that pay-per-view, though. They've got a couple of matches announced for Hardcore Justice. The 3 Bound for Glory series matches. The main event, Roode versus Austin Aries. The X Division title match. We've also got a Knockouts title match. So we got some matches announced for Hardcore Justice as well, and they're actually playing towards the stipulation in the Bound for Glory series matches, which is good. The show overall, I thought was pretty decent. The main event angle they had with James Storm being part of the AcesAnd8'sless, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. That was quite well done throughout the night. Like I said, not the most entertaining show, but still a decent show in my opinion. I'll give it a B- this week. It was still a decent show with some good pay-per-view hype in there.
And that's what we'll say.
Yeah, pretty much. So give us your thoughts down in the comment section below, of course, down in that comment section, because I can't do the gun thing, but NJ can. I don't know why. I have a retarded thumb. That's what happens when you broke your thumb 3 times like I have, NJ. But yeah, so we'll go to you for the outro.
And people tune in for the Go Home show next week. And all I'm going to say now is hope that you've enjoyed this show. Share your thoughts on this show. And please watch out for the AcesAnd8'sless because they could come after you next. And I've got Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Thank you very much, YouTubers. And until next time, YouTubers. Goodbye.